Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the long-awaited, finally we got a new one, Marvel Legends Rogue from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave. The first Rogue was total crap, right? We know that. It was on my top 10 worst figures of all time for Marvel Legends, and this figure, let's just put it out there, it's nowhere near that. It is definitely the replacement we needed. Is it perfect? Not so much. Is it the best figure in the wave? Possibly. It's pretty darn good. There are definitely a couple of issues we need to discuss, you guys need to be aware of, but still, it's what I was hoping for. I wasn't expecting too much, and they delivered at least well enough. So let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. She stands just about 6.5 inches to the top of her hair, which makes her just about 16 centimeters. So pretty good size, and we've seen this body mold before, so that's fine. This is one of those newer molds that is a good one. It's a good mold, unlike the one we saw for Kitty Pryde and Phoenix, which had some serious problems. This one's mostly solid, and it's got a little bit of extra curve to it, so it definitely suits Rogue. And so here are some things we need to talk about first. Oh, well, I guess I can just get this out of the way. She has an alternate hand, an ungloved hand, which is cool. So that's a nice little feature. We have obviously a brand new head sculpt, so let's look at that first. The head sculpt, it's not perfect. Her eyes are a little bit wide, but for the most part, it looks good enough. She's got some blush on her cheeks. The lips are painted well enough. I think the eyes are not painted well. If the eyes were painted better, they wouldn't look like they're too far apart. So it's not bad, but it could be better. And then for the headband, again, it's not bad, but it definitely could be better. The way they have this kind of pegged into her head, you can see that. It's pretty obvious, but it's not terrible. So again, it's okay. The hair sculpted well. Paintwork, there's no shading in it. They just did the gray up front, which seems like it might be a bit excessive. And then they did the brown on the back, which doesn't have any shading. And then the paintwork right there could definitely be better. So it's not bad. Could be better. Definitely could be better. The jacket, on the other hand, they did a really good job with the jacket. This is obviously an add-on piece. It feels permanent. I don't know. I guess you might be able to get it off, but the main part of the jacket just goes on over the body, and it's sculpted nicely and looks good. The arms are a new sculpt. The upper arms are all new, so that's a good thing. We have the X's painted on there, and it looks good enough. One thing that isn't good, though, is that you can see the yellow of the torso was coming through, so they just threw some brown paint on there very sloppily. Definitely not ideal. It doesn't look great. It would have been nice if the jacket actually stuck out a little bit farther to cover that up, but it's acceptable. The black paint on her torso, it's pretty clean. It looks good. The X on the chest and the stripes on the collarbone area both look good. The green painting on the rest of her body, going down her torso and down her legs, doesn't line up as well as I'd like, but the green itself is fairly metallic and looks good. The yellow's all molded, so for the most part, we're doing pretty well. The X on her belt is painted nicely, so that's a good thing. And now we have the gloves and boots to talk about. The gloves aren't really a problem. The glove part back here is a separate piece, so if you wanted to remove it, you could. And you will need to if you want to put the alternate hand in here. You can just take the glove off, and now she's got her bare hand. Now for the knee pads, they didn't actually give us new legs. They just gave us these floating pieces that hide the lack of a new sculpt, which, you know, I actually don't mind it because they have those green stripes on them. The parts that go right there look fine. But then down here, we just have these floating green stripes, which, I mean, they're okay. If you force them down, they don't really fall out of place. It's acceptable. I don't really mind it. I know some people are saying how much they hate it. I think it's okay. It could definitely be better. New sculpt and putting it on there permanently with a nice fine sculpt is good, but this will do, so I'm okay with it. Now, as far as articulation goes, the head's just on a ball peg, so it's a little bit more limited, but guess what? It fits on the body naturally, unlike those other two figures where the head sits way too high. It is definitely more limited, but it looks way better, so I'm not going to complain. We get some side to side, full swivel, a little bit of up and down. For the shoulders, we can get the arms all the way up, no problems there. Full rotation, again, no problems. We have our bicep swivel down here in the elbow, which also gives us our elbow, which is a little bit better than 90 degrees. And if you really, really don't like the glove things, you can just push them all the way forward, and they won't be in your way. The wrists both have a swivel and a hinge, so it's a little stiff to use the hinge, but it's there. Diaphragm joint works really nicely on this body. I love it. goes all the way around, way far back, a little bit forward, all the way down to the sides also. No problem at all. Easy to pose this figure for sure. The belt is a floaty belt, so that's fine. Oh, by the way, in the last review, actually you guys are not going to see them in the order I recorded them. In the review for Phoenix, I mentioned how she has those weird lumps on her, right above her hip area. Those don't belong there, and this figure did it properly. You can see that little muscular dip in there. That's the anatomical way to sculpt that. The other figure just had those weird lumps. This looks way better. This is definitely a much better sculpt. The legs can go all the way forward without having to go out to the side first. They can go back a little bit too, so that's a good thing. Going out to the side, not the farthest range, but definitely good enough. And then we have our thigh swivel, double jointed knee, full range there, no issues. And then for our ankle, we can bring the foot not as far forward as I would like. Definitely should go farther forward. Goes all the way back, and you get your ankle rocker. So far, she is the best figure in the wave by far. So by not even a close margin, she's the best, and I'm very pleased with her. Definite must-have figure for any X-Men collection or Marvel Legends collection. No question about it. Get this figure. Despite the flaws, it's easily worth having. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. We have new videos every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.